Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Two stakes races on tap at Saratoga on Friday. Let's take a look at race number 9, the $85,000 Shine Again Stakes. We're going 7 furlongs for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Chad Brown as the 6-5 morning line favorite. Indian Pride. Indian Pride, a perfect 2 for 3 in her career. She came back firing off the layoff last time out. And according to Mike Welsh's invaluable clocker report for Saratoga, it appears she is working very well for this engagement.
Yeah, I mean, she obviously has a lot of talent. If you've seen her run, you can tell she's pretty good. She's still got something to prove, Dan, but she's very fast early, and it just feels like she's cut out to be at least this kind of a horse.
And according to the Timeform US Pace Projector, there's a very good chance that Indian Pride can make the lead. She is the number 5. The number 9, Blamed, is quick as well. And the horse on the outside, let's not underestimate the speed of Don't Flatter Me. Please Flatter Me, the number 10. She has some speed as well. But it looks like the way Indian Pride is traveling in the mornings, she's going to show some speed in this spot. But perhaps this pace could heat up a bit.
I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, with Blame too. I guess she does have some speed and she wants to be forward. I sort of looked at the race and felt like Indian Pride was probably going to make the front here.
The number 1 is Estilo Femenino, 20-1 on the morning line. This is a horse that last spring looked like she was beginning to put it all together and become on the verge of being a listed stakes kind of horse. She's already multiple stakes placed. She just hasn't put it all together this year, however, Mike. Cutting back in distance might work, and 3 of her 4 races this year have come on wet tracks. But that start 2 back, the Wilma Mankiller at Will Rogers Downs, it just wasn't a good effort.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get around because her other 3 races, it feels like are easy enough to make excuses for. She faced a really good horse 3 back. She faced a really good horse last time. We'll see what happens. It's an easier spot, I guess, Dan. I just don't know how much I trust her.
Risky Mandate's only loss at Saratoga came 2 back in the prior race. She ran really well that day to be 3rd behind Royal Charlotte. And now she's going to try to repeat a pattern, a second start of the form cycle, shipping in from Churchill Downs to Saratoga, stretching out to 7 furlongs. Maybe it'll work for her. I thought she ran really well in her seasonal debut. She didn't break. She was down inside. She angled widest, turning for home. She was second best. I think what you have to worry about with her is she's not a great gate horse.
Yeah, she's going to need to break this time, and it's been a little bit of an issue for her in the past. But overall, she's pretty good. She's got a lot of talent. She's very lightly raced, much like the morning line favorite is, and it just feels like she could take a step forward in this race.
9-2 on the morning line for Risky Mandate and Tom Amos. The 3 is Positive Spirit, 12-1 on the line. What an up and down 3-year-old season for Positive Spirit, even getting back to her final start as a 2-year-old. She blew them away in the Grade 2 Demoiselle. She didn't pick up her feet in the Rachel Alexandra. She ran better in the Gazelle to be a runner-up, and then she fell down in the Kentucky Oaks. Now, she escaped serious injury in the Kentucky Oaks, but then in her subsequent training, she developed some bone bruising, and the connections did the right thing. They stopped on her. They put her away. To me, this is a means to an end. I think this distance is a little bit short for her off the layoff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. We'll see what happens with her here. It's just, to me, it's just too long a layoff to take her in a race like this, especially with all this, because she's more of a horse who wants to be forward. It feels like she's not going to be able to get forward in this race.
The cutback to 7 might work for the 30-1 shot, the number 4, Bella Ciao, especially if there is some pace on, but I think there's limited upside. This is already going to be her 19th lifetime start, and her best buyer speed figure to date was the 82 that she earned 2 starts back. She simply has to run faster.
Yeah, just a little too slow on the way. I think the 7 furlong distance could be good for her, Dan, but other than that, I thought she was hard to make a case for.
Indian Pride devastated her 7 rivals in her career debut at Saratoga last year in gate-to-wire fashion, then the beaten favorite. But in start number 2, that's a pretty good effort, finishing 3rd in the Grade 2 Raven Run. And then let's watch her seasonal debut in a non-winners of 1 other than at Belmont. She pushed the pace early. She took over the lead. And as the short-priced favorite, she just makes them pay. You can tell she is this just stout-looking machine type of a filly. She's built to be a sprinter. 7 furlongs should be okay for her, and she's the horse to beat.
Yeah, I mean, she is. She clearly has a lot of ability here. This race they were watching now off the layoff, I mean, I guess as a starting off point, there's nothing to argue with about it. There were only 4 others in there. She had the run of the race, tracking a big long shot on the lead, and she was just too good It feels like this is the right step up for her. And if she runs well here, I think you'll see her in some graded stakes next.
Could you make a case for the 6, Joy Epifora, a Group 1 winner going a mile on dirt in her native Argentina? She only has one race in North America. It was off a 6-month-plus layoff, and I thought she ran a fine second that day. It wasn't off the turf event. She's probably going to be facing slightly better horses, but I think 7 furlongs might be okay for her.
Yeah, I thought the distance was okay too. Listen, I don't want to be too hard on her for her last race. Like you, I thought she ran, fine in that race. I wasn't blown away by it. It didn't make me want to bet her back in this race, but I suppose she could improve.
Honor Way is up next, and this mare is a real hard hitter. She has won 10 of 35, including this most recent start. And one of the horses she beat, the third-place finisher, Fair Regis, came back to run a solid second with an 81 Beyer speed figure. Honor Way is the kind of mare that's going to need some pace up front, and she was dangled for the $62,000 5 tag in this race, but it was a solid effort just getting up to win with a 79 Beyer.
Yeah, listen, I'm a fan of hers, Dan. She's probably a little too slow to win this. I mean, when you just look at her overall form, I mean, she's actually very good. Just probably a little too slow for this field. I'll just say this: if you were looking for, a horse to maybe play against the favorites in this race, I think Honor Way would be the one. She'll be a good price in this race, and she shows up every single time.
The number 8 is Slimy, and Slimy just didn't run last time out over a muddy track, and that's somewhat surprising because she has run very well on off-going in the past. It was her first start off a little bit of a layoff, and she faced some decent horses. The 6th-place finisher came back to run third behind Monomoy Girl and the Ruffian with an 85 Beyer. Her prior efforts sprinting are okay. I don't know, Mike. I think that what you like about a horse like Slimy at 30-1, in addition to having Joel Rosario aboard, is that this filly likes Saratoga.
She does like Saratoga. She really likes a wet track. If you get a little bit of rain, I guess that could move her up as well. She just needs pace, Dan. She's a sort of a one-run closing kind of a horse, and she's going to need Indian Pride to probably get hooked on the lead here, go a fast pace, and that would give Slimy her best chance to get a piece of this.
Some things to like about the number 9 Blamed at 7-2. She is seeking her 10th lifetime win. She is a multiple graded stakes winner, and she is getting significant class relief after setting the pace in the Grade 1 Ogden Phipps against a couple of the top older fillies and mares in the country, horses like She's a Julie and Point of Honor and Ollie's Candy. Her race 2 starts back was solid, not spectacular, with a 92 Beyer speed figure, but this outside post position gives Arad Ortiz lots of options, and I think they'll be tracking Indian Pride early.
Yeah, I guess they probably will too. Being drawn outside is a good thing for her. I will say that, I don't mind her cutting back to this distance. I think it could actually work for her. And she obviously has races that would at least give her a chance in this race. Dan, I'm just not a big fan of hers. I just don't think she's that good. I know there are ways to make excuses for her 3 graded stake starts so far this year, but she hasn't run well in any of those races. I don't know. I get that you can make a case for her. I just don't like her that much.
I think Please Flatter Me is a sleeper in this spot, Mike. 8-1 on the morning line. She really only had one bad race last year, and that was in the test behind the extremely highly regarded Kofefi. Something must have happened to her in that race. A, it was too bad to be true considering her overall body of work, and B, it preceded a very long layoff line. I wonder if maybe something minor happened physically to her. But off the layoff, she ran just fine against Guarana. We saw Guarana come back to win the Madison, a Grade 1 at Keeneland with a 98 Beyer speed figure. And this horse has a little bit of tactical speed. She should be sitting third while in the clear.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, I think she's an interesting horse in this race, especially if that morning line is right and she's going to be around that price. Definitely a horse that I could see using in this race because I actually really liked her as a 2-year-old and I thought she was fine as a 3-year-old as well.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the $85,000 Shine. Again, one of 2 stakes races at Saratoga on Friday. We both see it the same way. Same trifecta, cold. 2, 5, and 10. We like Risky Mandate's upside. I think it compares just as well as the upside of the 5 Indian Pride, and we're going to get a better price.
Yeah, that was sort of my thinking. I'll just give her a chance in here. Indian Pride, I'm not way against her, Dan. I do think she's the horse to beat here, but it's not like she doesn't have, something to prove still.
2, 5, 10, and 7 for Mike, 2, 5, 10, and 9 for me. It's the $85,000 shine again. We'll see if Risky Mandate shows some progression. We'll see if Indian Pride shows expected progression for Chad Brown. Approximate post time, 5:46 Eastern on Friday at the Spa. Best of luck.